Mix and match is another strategy that can be used effectively across groupings using common materials. A description of the mix and match strategy can be downloaded from the resources in Canvas. When similar resources are used in different settings and groups, they provide a way for students to make links across the day and across languages. They can also help students see that while their classmates might be at different levels of language proficiency, they are all working together on a common curriculum. Once you have created a set of cards based on content, vocabulary, and themes, they can be used in similar and different ways across integrated, second language, and primary language groups by either individuals or students working in small groups. While interactive strategies like mix and match are of critical importance for second language learners, they also can serve as a vehicle for deepening schema in students' first or home language as well. The greatest thing about mix and match is how flexible the strategy is, since it can be used in every single subject area. Once you have a set of cards or even a good visual image, they can be used over and over again in different settings, working on things as different as discrete skills like alphabetizing or parts of speech, to setting the groundwork for expanding higher order thinking skills. While one of the strengths of mix and match is the physical movement involved when students are finding their match, they can also be used in individual sort activities. Community helpers was chosen as a sample because it is a topic covered in many grades throughout the elementary school. In this example, 10 cards would be created, one for each of 5 community helpers and their place of employment. Cards could include words or pictures or both, depending on the level of your students. Cards are distributed randomly to students and they find their match. What they do from there is wide open. There's no limit to the number of pairs you create or the number of times you mix and match your students. The class size in your room is what will determine what is best. Mix and match in integrated groups are particularly useful. First, they do get students up and moving, which is both motivating and positively associated with second language learning. But in addition, they provide students with many authentic opportunities for all students to speak and listen. And this is a place where native speakers can act as a model and put words to the understandings that bilingual learners may have but can't yet fully express in English. In the community helpers example, in its simplest form, the match would be the person with the place. The firefighter is at the fire station, the mayor at the town hall. Once students found their initial match, they could line up in a circle and describe the match aloud. One way to do this might be that the person holding the firefighter card says, "I am the firefighter," and the person holding the fire station card says, "He or she works at the fire station," and so on around the circle. Once everybody has had a turn, you take back the cards, you mix them up and redistribute them to the students and repeat the process with new partners as many times as you'd like. Another idea is to have the students who have the helper cards switch or rotate the cards so that new pairs are formed. The fire chief is at the administration building. The mayor is at the grocery store, for example. And then they would have to come up with reasons for why the person was at the place. For example, the fire chief is at the administration building because there are too many fire alarms being pulled at the middle school. Students could then also work in pairs to create additional sets of cards based on other community helpers that they've been studying about. In second language groups, mix and match is a way to help students focus on the language of the content curriculum and how to follow a format for producing it accurately. In its simplest form, the match would still be the person with the place, the police chief works at the police station, etc. And just as in the integrated group example, once students have found their initial match, they could line up as a circle and rotate the cards so that new pairs would be found. But the difference this time, instead of just saying the fire chief is at the city hall, the mayor is at the grocery store, you could use this as an opportunity to work on tense structure. As they pass the cards around the circle, they might say, "Today I am the fire chief. Yesterday I was the mayor. Tomorrow I will be the store manager." You can ask students at more advanced levels of proficiency to create longer or more complex sentences. In this way, students get lots of practice using the key vocabulary from the content unit as a support, but not as the main focus of the activity. You can also use the cards to work on other discrete skills. For example, students could line up in alphabetical order according to the first word on their card, or they could separate themselves into two groups based on which words have silent letters and which words don't, or short vowels or blends, anything that you might be working on in language arts. The possibilities, again, are limitless. Just keep in mind that the opportunity in second language groups is to work on how to say the words and sentences correctly in a safe setting with other second language learning peers. And finally, the mix and match strategy can also be used in L1 groups, where it can be the launchpad for more complex discussions and writing. In the example of the community helpers, pairs of students could locate their place of work on a map, or they could discuss the relative merits of their assigned profession one over another. The community helper pairs could be the basis for forming groups to write a short play in several acts about the life of a town where people do their job and have fun in lots of different ways. Their writing could be the dialogue for the play, or it could be a persuasive essay again about why their job is the best job to have in the town. Sets of mix and match cards can be created in the languages spoken by the students for use in the classroom or at home. This is especially useful when sharing them with families to use at home to talk about the big ideas of the curriculum. For native English speakers, primary language groups may not seem all that different from integrated groups. The difference is that by working with other students for a time who are all fluent in the language, they too can refine their use of academic register at their own level of language proficiency.